This is my second attempt. I don't know why my video turned off. So this morning, Monday morning, we had Christoph and Tony here, and all of the isolation has been put up, apart from two small areas that will take probably half an hour. Really pleased about that. Much progress with two people on the job. And this afternoon, just after lunch, another van's come up with two men in it, and they're all three of them down there with about to start plasterboarding. There's a machine they've brought in that they must use for cutting the plasterboard, which might be that noise, I don't know. So I'm really happy. Christoph talked about the kitchen being prepped for painting or being painted on Wednesday. So that is good progress. I told him that the furniture's coming back on the 30th, which is a Sunday. But I sort of think he might move a bit quicker. I'm not sure whether he picked up from me on Friday how unhappy I was with his deadline, because it doesn't match my deadline. I guess we'll find out. So I'm here in my sulking room again. The cat's just joined me. It's really disturbing for her, isn't it? She's doing really well, but I feel really sorry for her. Her life is completely turned upside down, and she doesn't understand it. We understand what's going on, and our life has been turned upside down. I've lost my checkbook. It's a bit like Mark lost his bank card the other night when we were out for a meal with Claire and Etienne, and couldn't his bank card. It's a bit like you go to pay for a meal and you go, oh, I don't have any money, or I haven't got It's the same thing. I've got a bill from Christoph on Friday for part of the work, and I can't find my checkbook, and it sounds like an excuse. I can't find it. It's not in the car. It's not up here in my sulking room. It's not downstairs in the bunker. It's not in my rucksack. I don't know where it is, and I've ordered another checkbook off the bank this morning, so that will come in a couple of days. It's not a biggie, but it's just irritating. It's like, well, where is it? The bank card, I don't know whether I said, we've got a little robot hoover that I use for the bedroom and the corridor. I set that off in our bedroom the other day, and that found the bank card. Mark had obviously dropped it into a shirt pocket. We were so tired. He'd come back from his first rheumatology appointment, and he dropped it into his shirt pocket rather than put it back into his wallet. And then when he took his shirt off at bedtime, it must have come out and gone under the bed. So the little robot hoover found it the other day. But by then we'd stopped it and ordered a new card, and he'd got a new card. So yeah, it's quite frustrating because I lose stuff. I'm losing stuff, and that is not how I operate. We took the paperwork over to Gabion this morning, and because there were bits and pieces that needed topping and tailing and signing, and my head is not in a place where I can, one, read small print, and two, translate it from French. So I thought, I'm going to take it over and she can do it, and we'll just sign and tick this box, sign here, and that's what we did. So that feels good, and I managed to keep track of that, and I'm still keeping track of it. It's behind me, but that can be put away mainly now. So that always feels good for me when we've had when I've got paperwork hanging over me. I like paperwork to be dealt with and cleared and moved on. So that's been done. That's good. We will at some point, maybe later, because Mark's just had a siesta and he's gone back down now. We'll clear a few more bits and pieces from up here. I came across rucksacks and bags of his that he's had for years. Well, we're older now and we use suitcases. We don't use rucksacks and bags. And we had a couple of decent rucksacks, really decent rucksacks, that we took to Spain. God, I don't know, 14 years ago. And they've sat here and never been used since. And I said, and we took those and they went to Emmaus last year. These ones, we're going to go to the Hope Shop, which I have done a vlog of way back in the beginning of when I was vlogging. It's a big charity shop in Conflans in 16 at the Charente. we're going to take the stuff I've got here down there, because I'm going to take the cookery books, and they're more appropriate for the Hope Shop than they are for Emmaus, because they're all English. So I've pulled a load of stuff out of my one of my wardrobes. It makes me sound like I've got, loads of clothes. I haven't. It's just that my clothes are spread over 3 bedrooms. I've got a chest of drawers that holds my clothes that I wear all the time. I've got a small hanging space in wardrobes in the middle room of clothes I wear less often, or my summer clothes. And then I've got an overflow in here that really needs a lot of dumping, because it's just, I keep going through it and thinking, oh, I might wear that one day. I might grow down into that one day. Oh, I've grown up into that. And I'm sick of doing that now. So I'm going to have a good clear out of that. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a clear out, and then we'll go down to the Hope Shop tomorrow. I'm not going to vlog it. I vlogged it once. I was using, Phil had bought me a gimbal, because it was very early on when I was vlogging. He'd bought me a gimbal, and I couldn't work the bloody thing, and it would just flop. And it was because there was a button on it that I didn't realise that I was resting on, causing it to go like this, and I didn't know, I couldn't work it. So it's a pretty poor vlog, but you'd have to go back to the beginning of my vlogs to find it. I won't vlog it tomorrow. So we won't be buying anything in the charity shop, because I really don't need any more tat. I'm getting rid of tat, but it's very popular, loads of books. If you're looking for books, and they're all about €1 each. Very popular place for books and old crockery, and lots of Spode probably. Yeah, so we'll go there tomorrow. It's a bit of a trek. It's about an hour and a bit, which for us there and back is a lot, but we need to get out of here. Need to just go away and let people get on and not be sitting with it. So going out for a few hours will be good. So that's that. That's what's happening today. I've told him I'm très content. I'm hoping that he won't sit back and rest on his laurels and think, oh, good, I don't have to work so hard now. I didn't kiss him this morning. I didn't bees him this morning. So mainly because he was all dusty and I was feeling like shit. So I don't know. Okay. What is there in comments? Is there anything on comments I need to respond to? Or somebody said about Ida, that Ida might like a companion. I know it would be lovely. Of course, I'm watching Sandy Brock. I've been watching Sandy Brock for a couple of weeks now. Wonderful stuff about sheep and lambs and all the lambs gambling, and I love it. And I would love to have more sheep, but we agreed some time back, probably a couple of years ago, that we need to stop renewing our pets, if that makes sense, because we're feeling our age, and you need to be able to look after them, and we can't guarantee that we can't catch her. So if there's anything wrong with her, we're reliant on Ludo coming in May to shear her, and he'll check her feet, and but we're unable to chase around the garden and catch her and do all of take care of her appropriately. So she's on her own, and she had her mum here, and she had her half brother here, and it was lovely. And I've been watching Sandy Brock, and I've been watching the lambs just chasing each other round and round in circles, and they used to do that. Our little flock of 3 used to suddenly go bombing round the garden. It was just fabulous to watch. And every so often Ida, if we're both out, because she prefers Mark, if we're both out and we've both been down to put the chickens away, and she's had a good day, she starts to amble up as we amble up, waits for us to get further up the garden, and then she comes bouncing up, gamble, and sometimes they get so carried away they start going along sideways. And it's lovely when she does that, because we know that it means that she's happy. And I think she's happy. And I think if we introduced anybody, if we introduced some new sheep or lambs, she's going to be the odd one out. And if we took her to another flock, I've said this before, if we took her and introduced her, and we, sort of said goodbye to her and introduced her to another flock, she's still going to be the odd one out. And I wouldn't want that for her. She's our lamb, because she was a lamb when we first had her. but she didn't bond with us because she had her mum. Had she been a new lamb and not got a mum, then we would have been mum and dad. We're mum and dad now, but it's taken her a long time to see us as mum and dad. I'm hopeful that when there are children here for a few weeks next month, that she will benefit from lots of company. I know that they will want to persuade her to be friendly with them, and I think the older children are old enough to be able to manage that and patiently wait for her to come to them rather than them go to her. I'm not sure about the toddler, but then I don't think the toddler will be particularly interested. So that will be nice for her. Be nice for Jazz. Jazz will get spoilt rotten. Normally Jazz isn't allowed in the bedrooms, but at the moment she's to be able to, we're allowing her up here when she comes up to be out of the way, because we're coming up here out of the way sometimes, so it only seems fair. But when there are people living in the house, she always comes to this bedroom. You know, when we've got friends that come every year, and she's particularly keen on Jane, and so she'll always come and try and get into the bedroom if Jane's in here. So I think everything will be fine. I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed about timing. I'd like to have got the furniture back sooner. I'd like to get my house back sooner, but that ain't going to happen. And there are still several days in May before we leave. Spoke to our friends, I spoke to one half of our friends who live in Prince George, about, timings and getting to them and staying with them. And that was really nice yesterday to talk to him. He works in a horrible sector. I don't, we're all, he trained psychiatrically when I was training. He was a year behind me, I think, Gary, but I've known him since birth. His parents were our friends, my ex-husband and myself, and I've known Gary for all his life, so it's really exciting to be able to go and visit. But I wish he wasn't working in the psychiatric, he's working in the criminal system, and we were talking about that yesterday, and he really is at the front end, and it sounds awful, and I know it has an awful impact on your mental health to be working with such sick people, and that's what he's working with. So yeah, anyway, looking forward to seeing them. Spoke to them, done that, and let's see what happens for the rest of the week. I'm sure I'll let you know, because I normally do.